Millions of Chinese stunned after government makes Obama UFO statement. Hundreds of millions of Chinese citizens remain stunned today after China's official government television news station Xinhua made their unprecedented January 4th announcement that the American president, Barack Obama, was preparing to announce to the world the existence of extraterrestrial races currently on our planet and fueled by what they called was an extraterrestrial disclosure race now developing between China and the US. Unfortunately for the American people, their propaganda media outlets have refused to allow them to know of this historic event, and even worse are keeping from these people the grave and dire situation facing our entire planet as we near what the ancients called the end of days. In our previous reports, Greenland's sunrise shocks world as superstorms pound planet, poisonous space clouds slamming into Earth cause mass bird and fish deaths, pole shift blamed for Russian air disaster, closure of U.S. airport and massive earthquake fears rise after mysterious object moves nearer to Earth. We begin detailing the rise of the global chaos now occurring, and when matched with the accounts of similar events in our Earth's ancient past we stated, now to fully understand what this global catastrophe is all about one must look at exactly what the ancients wrote about it, and can be summarized as follows. 1. Every few thousand years 3,500-5,000 a planetary-size object sojourns through our solar system causing chaos among the planets. 2. The timing of this mysterious object's appearance coincides with a human population grown so large and powerful it begins to threaten all other life on Earth. 3. The events preceding this mysterious object's return include social upheaval, world wars, mass animal deaths and powerful superstorms. 4. The culminating event is this mysterious object coming so close to Earth that our planet's rotation is stopped, reversed and restarted, causing massive earthquakes and tidal waves that wipes out nearly all human civilization. 5. Both immediately prior to and following the cataclysmic destruction of Earth, the gods return to save a remnant of humanity and help it rebuild a shattered Earth. With Obama knowing that the ancient gods are returning to Earth to, once again, help protect humanity from the coming destruction of our planet, he is, likewise, pitted against those in his own government intent upon keeping the truth from his people, and as evidenced by a recently released secret U.S. State Department cable to their embassy in Ukraine which said, "It is critical all embassy staff understand that they are not to discuss under any circumstance concerns the U.S. Department of Defense has with UFOs entering orbit." Once again, the seriousness of this matter cannot be overstated. To how grim the situation has become for our planet is nearly beyond comprehension, especially after 2010 became the worst year for natural disasters in all recorded modern human history and shows no signs of abating in 2011 as superstorms continue pounding the globe from Brazil to Australia, and a new superstorm warning is preparing to hit the United States this week. Even worse are new reports warning that our Earth's magnetic poles have accelerated their movement and that the entire continent of Africa is, literally, splitting in two, and as we quote from Cynthia Ebinger, a geologist from the University of Rochester in New York, who told Germany's Spiegel online news service this past week, the Earth is in upheaval in northeastern Africa, and the region is changing quickly. The desert floor is quaking and splitting open, volcanoes are boiling over, and seawaters are encroaching upon the land. Africa, researchers are certain, is splitting apart at a rate rarely seen in geology. Not just to Africa, either, are concerns growing as new reports from the United States volcanic caldera Yellowstone region are reporting a rapid uplifting of land over 10 inches, and one of America's top physicists, Dr. Michio Kaku, warned world citizens this past week about the pending threat of enormous earthquakes that will destroy entire cities. Most laughable, perhaps, of the West's reaction to the coming global catastrophes, and the true reasons for it, was the warning issued this past week by Dr. Brad Carter, senior lecturer of physics at the University of Southern Queensland, that by 2012 another sun would appear in our Earth's sky, and as we can read, Betelgeuse, one of the night sky's brightest stars, is losing mass, indicating it is collapsing. It could run out of fuel and go supernova at any time. When that happens, for at least a few weeks, we'd see a second sun, Carter says. There may also be no night during that time frame. The Star Wars-esque scenario could happen by 2012, Carter says. What makes Dr. Carter's announcement about a second sun appearing in our sky by 2012 so laughable is that it is exactly what our ancient ancestors said would happen, and as documented by the Russian-American researcher Immanuel Velikovsky, who in compiling the so-called myths and legends of all of our Earth and its peoples going back thousands of years discovered, planet Earth has suffered natural catastrophes on a global scale, both before and during humankind's recorded history. There is evidence for these catastrophes in the geological record and archaeological record. The extinction of many species had occurred catastrophically, not by gradual Darwinian means. The catastrophes that occurred within the memory of humankind are recorded in the myths, legends and written history of all ancient cultures and civilizations. Velikovsky pointed to alleged concordances in the accounts of many cultures, and proposed that they referred to the same real events. For instance, the memory of a flood is recorded in the Hebrew Bible, in the Greek legend of Deucalion, and in the Manu legend of India. Velikovsky put forward the psychoanalytic idea of cultural amnesia as a mechanism whereby these literal records came to be regarded as mere myths and legends. The causes of these natural catastrophes were close encounters between the Earth and other bodies within the solar system, not least what were now the planets Saturn, Jupiter, Venus, and Mars, these bodies having moved upon different orbits within human memory. To explain the celestial mechanics necessary to permit these changes to the configuration of the solar system, Velikovsky thought that electromagnetic forces might somehow play a greater role to counteract gravity and orbital mechanics. To if Obama, like the Chinese government has told its citizens, will be allowed to truthfully tell the American people the truth about what is happening, it is not in our knowing, other than to point out the obvious, that no American president is truly in charge of anything, and as best exampled by Woodrow Wilson 1856 to 1924, 28th President of the United States, who once warned his people, "Since I entered politics, I have chiefly had men's views confided to me privately." Some of the biggest men in the U.S., in the field of commerce and manufacturing, are afraid of somebody, are afraid of something. They know that there is a power somewhere so organized, so subtle, so watchful, so interlocked, so complete, so pervasive, that they had better not speak above their breath when they speak in condemnation of it. Though President Wilson, and nearly all world leaders for that matter, remain in great fear of this unseen power, we do not. In fact, for thousands of years our order, and many other like ours, had battled against this evil and know it all too well. This centuries-old battle we have waged has not come without great personal cost, but a cost we judge well worth it if just a single life be saved. And to save these lives we must first battle through the many lies and prejudices deliberately implanted into human beings today, most especially those lies making people believe that we as a human race are separate from each other. Our battle against these monsters who believe they rule over you also comes at great expense, as they will exhaust nothing to suppress and keep hidden the truth from you, even to destroying those like us who stand against them. The main tactic used against us, and all others like us, is to demonize with lies about who we are and what we really stand for, so as to keep people from reading the truths we offer. They need no proof for their lies either, they just need to keep repeating them over, and over, and over, to the point where the lies have become the truth, and creating a world that the Christian prophet Paul described as, "For the time is coming when people will not endure sound teaching, but having itching ears they will accumulate for themselves teachers to suit their own passions." Unfortunately, for those people today seeking teachers and or knowledge to fit into what they believe is true, instead of letting the truth create the world that really is, our words are all too frequently cast aside because they don't fit into their worldview. The great English author and journalist George Orwell 1903 to 1950 once wrote that during times of universal deceit, telling the truth becomes a revolutionary act. By our telling you the truth, and by extension you reading it, makes us both revolutionaries. And as revolutionaries we both have responsibilities. Ours is to continue to uncover and reveal to you the truths being kept hidden from you, and yours is to support our efforts to do that. As recently exampled by WikiLeaks, whose founder has been jailed and bailed and has had his access to funds from his supporters cut off, and the 23-year-old U.S. soldier, Bradley Manning, who gave the secret U.S. cables to WikiLeaks and is now being tortured by his American jailers, and America's main opposition newsman, Keith Olbermann, fired without warning from his top-rated news show for opposing U.S. wars in what is being described as a right-wing turn. To all of these and more, the forces arrayed against those telling the truth are not only formidable, they are ruthless. Though the times we live in are, indeed, grave and dark, there is no excuse for you to any longer be without a side you are standing on, or principles that you are not standing for. Those days are long gone because a new world is descending upon you with such speed and ferocity that without truthful knowledge you might as well just give up because you won't have anything protecting you. Source-related posts.